In this episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about not mentioning the underwear on your head, wanting magic charcoal, unlocking childhood memories of spirographs, dreaming about glorious boots, and putting out an unanswered live call for a superfan in our discussion of Illuminations by Kingfisher. Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult, and sometimes middle grade books, series, authors, voice actors, and illustrators that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to discuss Illuminations by Kingfisher.
Standard disclaimer. If you haven't read this book, please remember that Fictional Hangover is all about spoilers. If you haven't read or listened and don't want to be spoiled, stop listening to us and go read or listen to the book. Then come back. If you haven't done this but want to pretend that you have, or if you don't care about spoilers, or if you just like the show so much that you don't care about any of that, then listen up.
Yeah. Do it.
Just simply listen up.
Yes. End of the show. I don't feel like I can see anything else.
I don't know. Although we're telling them to listen, and now the show is over. So, quick episode. Then listen to the one before it, and the one after it, and all of them.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a few Kingfishers at this point, so, pick one.
Yeah.
Actually, let's do this episode and give them another. Let's be nice.
Yeah, okay. I agree. Let's do it.
Go on, dive into the background information.
Okay, so the background information does not necessarily pertain to this book specifically, but it is about writing for a younger audience. Audience is the word.
Did you know the word audience has an R in it?
It has lots of R's in it.
It does, because language is ever evolving.
It is. So, the question that I found on a website that I did not note. Sorry, everyone. I failed my librarian duties this time.
Oh my God, she didn't cite her sources.
I did not. Oof, accident. Too many beginning writers think writing for a younger audience is easier. Tell us why it isn't. And the response is, oh goodness, it's definitely not easier. Writing for kids usually requires you to write very tight and fast pace to keep readers engaged. In an adult novel, you have more time to stop and smell the roses, go off on tangents, and just plain noodle around. You can't be boring in either, but you get a lot longer to prove yourself in an adult book. It also turns out that most editors really frown on arson in kids' books. But sometimes burning down the haunted house is the smart thing to do, damn it. Which is why I chose that, even though it has nothing to do with this book. But it's important sometimes to include arson.
I choose arson.
Yeah.
100% of the time.
Yes. So, what are your initial thoughts on this one?
I want to burn things. No, that's not.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
I love a hashtag tenuous link TM. And this is a hashtag tenuous link TM to this month's book club theme challenge, which is the Pictures with 1,000 words. Read a comic book, a graphic novel, or a book with illustrations. However, this is not a comic book, it is not a graphic novel, and it's not a book with illustrations, but it is a book about artists, art, and art coming to life.
Yes.
So
it fits the theme.
It fits the theme.
Hashtag tenuous link, which is one of our favorite things. So
exactly. Yeah. So I'm loving it, and I've read it a couple of times now. So yeah,
it's very good.
Cool.
It's very good. Kingfisher's books are so much fun. So I really, really love them whenever we discover them.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your initial thoughts?
That Kingfisher's books are so fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've challenged myself this year to read more T. Kingfisher, because every single time we've covered one on the podcast, I say every single time, we've done A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, which is part of the Fictional Hangover Annotated Book Club rotation as well.
Yes.
I have just read it, and I've passed it on to Superfan Constance.
Excellent.
So she's picking it up next.
Oh, she's... I'm sure... I feel like she's already read that one because, you know, she reads the books that we discuss on the show.
Yes.
But I know that she will appreciate that one on account of she's a baker.
Well, 100%. I even put a gingerbread recipe in the back of the book, so I'm hoping she gives it a try.
That's really nice.
But we've also done Nettle and Bone, which we also did with Superfan Brie.
Mm-hmm.
So what we needed to have a Superfan on for this one.
What did we do? Is there anyone we can call? Is there anyone who can join us on the spur of the moment?
Spur of the moment. I mean, there's the messenger chat's going crazy with them in. So
yeah, but has anybody read this one?
I think one or two.
Well, I mean, we can do it. They probably the one or two that have read it have not ever been on the show before.
Quite likely. So, I feel like, does anybody want to be on right now? Literally right now.
Just do it. Just do it and see what happens.
Okay, I'm going to message. This has all got to stay in the video.
Yeah, of course. It probably will be edited out of the episode, though. At least some of it. Let's just go ahead and jump into the summary. You keep an eye on the text, though, and see if anybody feels like joining in immediately.
It's like, quick, I'll just quickly listen to it. Times 10 speed.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it. You could take in some of the words. Okay. Rosa Mandolini is bored. The most bored anyone has ever been. Ever. Times 100. She wants to draw illuminations, paintings that can carry a magical charm, but they need to be very specific or they won't work. Being a Mandolini, part of the world-famous studio Mandolini, means that their illuminations should work. But Rosa, who is still learning... This is my favorite. I can't understand. I can't put into words how much I love what it is that she draws. She wants to give her radishes fangs, not wings. She can even feel that they want fangs, not wings. Her family is lovely, but they don't understand Rosa's paintings, though at least Uncle Alfonso appreciates her art. I love so much that she draws radishes. It's me. That's something that I draw when I'm just randomly doodling things.
100%. I'm forever doodling random fruit and vegetables with fanged faces.
Yes.
Gingerbread men because of Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking as well.
Yeah.
And all monsters, cryptids.
Yes.
Everything has fangs as well.
Yeah. I like also to draw a turtle wearing a top hat.
Ooh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, he's a dandy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, Uncle Marco, Cousin Sergio, Aunt Nadia, and Grandmama are too busy to entertain her, so Rosa must entertain herself. Grandmama suggests Rosa visit her friend Serena. Serena's family is Studio Magnifico, another illumination house. Sometimes Rosa likes Serena, sometimes she does not. Today is a not entirely kind of day. Serena has recently started declaring, "You have to do what I say because I'm a year older," which is, frankly, annoying.
It really is.
But Rosa is bored. Very bored. So she heads to Studio Magnifico anyway.
Serena's brother opens the door and calls for his sister when he sees Rosa. Serena appears and declares, "Oh, it's you." Then tells Rosa she is far too busy to play, calls the studio Mandolini old-fashioned and weird, says that she is very busy with a commission. After Serena brags about her family and turns away, Serena's brother tells Rosa it's only griffins holding acorns for the cafe down the street with a grain moth problem. Still, though, Rosa doesn't have a commission. No one wants a radish with teeth. I do. Still bored, Rosa heads back home.
Rosa dramatically throws herself on Uncle Alfonso's sofa and tells him what Serena calls Studio Mandolini and that she has a commission. Uncle Alfonso, he's like super chill and only wishes Serena well and admits Mandolini isn't what it used to be. There are fewer in their family and, people's tastes change, but they also must have faith. When Rosa asks if there is an illumination to make people like art, Uncle Alfonso directs her to, insert dramatic music here.
Oh, I will.
Thank you. The Codex. Dum dum dum.
Every Illumination studio has 2 books. The Codex Iconographica and Iconographer's Concordance. They are big and weighty and describe illuminations so you can create the correct image for the magic to work. Unfortunately, the Codex does not offer Rosa an answer to her question. Well, that took about 10 minutes. When Rosa asks if she can help Uncle Alfonso, he suggests she head into the basement and look for a stuffed armadillo. He has an illumination to ward off blisters to create and would like to use the armadillo as a model. An armadillo can ward off blisters? Okay. Rosa wishes her radishes, although Uncle Alfonso does love them, could do something. Rosa heads to the basement.
I want to go in the basement and find treasures. The basement, it's a jumble of chaos and a wonderful treasure trove of costumes and props and just stuff.
So much stuff.
So much stuff. If you are able to find what you are looking for, because it is not in any order.
I feel like we're hoarders.
Well, I think there's a certain element of hoarding, but, when you can paint random illuminations about absolutely anything at any point, you need the models.
Yeah.
Not everybody's an Uncle Marco who needs to paint from life.
Right,
So
yes.
It's a storeroom. It's just... I would sort it.
I would.
I would have to sort it.
Yeah.
Anywho, as Rosa is looking in and around boxes labelled stuff, very helpfully, she happens upon a door marked more stuff. Again, very helpful. And it seems no one has been inside for at least 32 years, going by the calendar she finds. The stuffed armadillo is not there, but there is an interesting box with a crow illumination on it that keeps making her turn around and forget about it. It's only because Rosa carries a pen and writes on the back of her hand, "Crow box in basement," that she even remembers about it and checks the concordance for what the crow illumination can mean. Unfortunately, she finds a lot of that section marked banned, details redacted.
Interesting.
Rosa needs to think about this. How is she going to stop the illumination from working on her?
The next day, Rosa is still thinking about the box conundrum as she helps Uncle Marco find his stag beetle named Walter. An offhand comment from cousin Sergio about Ulysses sparks an idea, and abandoning Walter, Rosa races off for some twine. In the basement, Rosa ties one end of the twine to her wrist and the other to the doorknob. It takes a few attempts, but Rosa is able to wrap the box in some lace she found in the room, enough that the illumination doesn't work. On her way out of the basement and locating Walter on the stairs, Rosa heads to her bedroom, ties her wrist to her bed, puts a pair of underwear on her head as a blindfold, and begins to unwrap the box. she's interrupted by Grandmama and Uncle Alfonso, who are not going to ask any questions about what she is doing. They invite her to the unveiling of the sewer illumination Uncle Alfonso was part of. I can just imagine, like, opening up her door and seeing that she's there tied to the bed with one arm in its back here, and she's got underwear on her head, and she's trying to open the box, and they just close the door and, like, shout through it. Hey, Rosa.
Rosa.
Don't want to interrupt, but let's go to the sewer.
Let's not ask any questions.
No.
Okay, so the illumination in the sewer is made of several huge tiles painted by different studios, though Studio Magnifico did too. Uncle Alfonso later explains because they work together on their paintings, while Mandolini don't have the temperament for that. That's being kind. The tiles are lowered into the sewer and the water buffets against it, creating ooze and garbage like a giant snake on one side, and on the other side, clean water comes out. This is a freaking huge deal for the city. It will clean the stinking, unhealthy canals throughout the city, giving people access to clean water and better air. After having a celebratory lemon ice, they return home and Rosa is determined to tackle the box. With her underwear back on her head, she is able to prise open the box. Something scurries up along her arm, and then she feels a weight on her shoulder, and a voice telling her that she has let the scarling out. Nothing good scuttles.
No. No. At least it's not in the wall. Scuttling.
Nope.
Taking the underwear off her head, Rosa finds a talking crow in her room. His name is Payne, like Payne's Gray, the blue-black paint color, and his master is Tybalt Mandolini. He was placed on the box to keep the evil scarling inside until Tybalt could figure out how to stop it for good. After a confusing conversation about dates, because there's been a revolution since Payne was put on the box, it turns out he's been on the box in the basement for over 200 years.
He looks good for an old man.
He does. Payne explains that the scarling, which is essentially a magical mandrake root, drains the magic from Illuminations, and it may have the magical charcoal made from its own root. And if that's the case, they're in big trouble. Rosa is called by her grandmama to help with dinner, so in the meantime, Payne will check the box for the charcoal. Much later, Payne tells Rosa the scarling has the charcoal, which means they're in trouble.
Ooh. The next morning, Grandmama accuses Rosa of drawing little spiky figures near the baseboard on the walls and tells her to clean them off. When Rosa fetches Payne, currently distracted by a shiny spoon, to take a look at the figures, he confirms it's the work of the scarling. Rosa wants to tell her family, but Payne says they need to keep it all secret. A few minutes later, Rosa lugs a bucket of soapy water to clean the drawings off, but the figures are gone.
Ah! Bad! Rock! That was Payne. That was not me, everyone. That was Payne. Payne is freaking out right now when Rosa tells him what's going on. Obviously, the whole family hears Payne and sees Payne, but no one thinks, talking bird. They're only concerned that a bird has gotten into the studio. Not that it's speaking at all. We're not even going to talk about that. It's just like the underwear on the head. Just don't even talk about it.
No, don't mention it.
No?
Stop mentioning it.
Stop. Okay. Grandmama asks Rosa if the drawings are gone. Yes, which is good because Rosa can now clean the one in the bathroom. This one... Oh, and Amanda squeeze again. A turtle! But not with a top hat. This one has claws.
Ah.
But still really, really great. Lugging the bucket into the bathroom, Rosa once again finds the drawing gone. After emptying the bucket and kicking the toilet in frustration, Rosa goes to the kitchen where she sees movement behind her grandmama's decorative plates. And the scarling pops out. And it's very ugly. It's about the size of a rat, has white lips, peg-like teeth, and no eyes. It scuttles on 3 blackened legs and has 2 blackened arms, one holding the charcoal. As it dives for Rosa, she uses the bucket to swat it, but before she can trap it underneath, it scuttles behind the stove. Scuttling, 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 it's scuttling, scuttling, it's scuttling, scuttling.
No.
Scuttling.
Stop it.
Scuttling.
Nadia's screams ring throughout the studio. Her huge and very detailed and financially very important to the studio illumination of angels has been defaced. Little angry figures have been drawn along it and up the sides, and the angels have all been given moustaches, which, if you ask me, just improves them. It makes them more of a gentleman angel.
It really does.
You need to give them monocles and top hats as well.
Yes.
That's just me. Nadia accuses Rosa of doing it, and no one believes that she didn't. Back in her room, while untangling a costume jewellery necklace from Payne's foot, which he liberated, Rosa tells him what happened, and Payne explains that the Scarling's charcoal, mixed with an illumination magic, can bring the art to life, a power many would want. Just then, one of the drawings scrambles down Rosa's wall. Payne calls it a scribbling and catches it in his beak and rips it into charcoal powder.
Are you sure it didn't scuttle down the wall?
Oh, it's in the walls. It's in the goddamn walls.
The next day, Grandmama hands Rosa a bucket of soapy water and gives her a look. Before Rosa can go and find the scribbling, Uncle Alfonso offers to take her out to pay their taxes. He promises Grandmama, with a twinkle in his eye for Rosa, it is a somber chore, well, where there will be no laughing, jokes, or smiles. He uses this time to make Rosa smile, obviously. He's the only one who believes she didn't do the scribbles and tries to get her to tell him what is going on. Rosa sees a city filled with important illuminations like preventing fires and stopping pigeons from pooping, and doesn't say anything.
During the night, Payne wakes Rosa to deal with some scribblings on the roof. The Scarling made the doodles on the herb planters, but luckily they haven't come to life yet, so Rosa is able to wash them off. Payne explains that the Scarling is still building its strength back, so its scribblings are able to steal the magic from small illuminations, but not big ones like Nadia's angel illumination. That was just defacement. It will also want to stay close to Studio Mandolini because it does not like the Mandolini family or Payne, and will want to get revenge. He might not have said revenge in such a dramatic fashion if he is a crow.
He's wrong for that. Yeah. He should have done. In the morning, Rosa tries to persuade Payne to talk to her family because Grandmama found more scribblings and accused Rosa of drawing them, but he keeps saying no. Payne goes on to explain Tybalt used him as bait in a trap for the Scarling, but he didn't destroy the mandrake root as he suggested. They're interrupted by Grandmama's angry shouts again. In the kitchen, the family has gathered. They're looking at Grandmama's decorative plates from her travels, each with a scribbling. Uncle Marco says he doesn't believe Rosa did them and proves it when he asks Rosa to reach them by standing on a chair. At last, her family believes her and apologizes for their accusations. But if Rosa didn't do the scribbles, who did?
Grandmama bakes when she's stressed, and bakes so much that Rosa is sent to their neighbours with pies and tarts. During one visit, a neighbour reports their illumination on their copper boiler isn't working, though he thinks it's because he dropped dye on it. When Rosa looks, she can see the remains of a charcoal scribble. This is bad. They're getting out. Meanwhile, Uncle Marco reports seeing a rat in the studio, but that illumination looks intact, the one that keeps rats out. So he could have only seen the scarling.
Later, Uncle Marco declares an urgent need for the color blue in order to finish his beetle illumination. Unfortunately, there is none in the studio, and they can't afford more as it's a very expensive color. So Rosa is sent to borrow some from Studio Magnifico. When she gets there, Serena drags her into her bedroom and demands to know what is going on, showing Rosa her ruined commission. One of the scribblings has gotten to the studio and has been using crayon to ruin Serena's griffins. Luckily, they are still magic, but not all are salvageable. Rosa, feeling guilty, tells Serena everything, thinking it's a loophole as Payne only told her not to say anything to her family. Thankfully, Serena believes her and has an idea how to catch the critter.
Using one of Serena's griffin illuminations as bait, they upend a glass jar, wedge a rock with a pink ribbon tied around it, and wait. And wait. And oh, there it is! A little smudge around the edges, caterpillar-like scribbling appears, and the trap works perfectly. Rosa wants to get it to Payne straight away, and Serena declares she is coming and going to help with the scarring problem the Mandolinis are suffering from. Together with the scribbling in the jar and some lapis blue paint for Uncle Marco, they head back to Studio Mandolini. Rosa was right. Payne isn't happy that Serena knows about everything, but who will believe two kids? They tell them about the scribbling trap and wonder if the same thing could be done for the scarling and using the scribbling, one of its troops, as bait. Possibly. As they're mulling this idea over, they notice the scribbling using its pilfered purple crayon as a makeshift spear of sorts and jamming it towards something pinned to Rosa's wall. It's a fanged radish picture. Testing the theory, Rosa draws a new one. They open the jar and the scribbling refuses to come out. Well, they know what fanged radish does now.
Ooh. Rosa manages to persuade Grandmama to let Serena sleep over that night. They're going scarling hunting. During the afternoon, Rosa prepares by painting the best, most magnificent radish on the lid of a hat box, using some of Uncle Alfonso's good paint for it. They plan to use the scribbling to lure the scarling out and slam the radish lid over it to trap it. At first, it all seems to be working well, except Rosa slams the lid down too roughly, and she grabs for it, making the scarling give an awful scream, which causes the grown-ups to come and investigate. The scarling bites down on Rosa's hand, and she instinctively grips tighter, hears a snap sound, and throws the creature across her bedroom, which is when the adults enter and see something splat against the wall, then run off. Grandmama treats the tiny bite in Rosa's hand as she and Serena give an edited explanation about their hunting the creature out to ruin Studio Mandolini. They are congratulated for ingenuity, but also told to leave it to the adults. Back in her room, as Payne is making shifty moves towards Serena's shiny hair barrettes, he's already pilfered all the spoons, mind you, Rosa opens her other clenched hand. In it is the scarling's charcoal. Payne is a happy crow. The scarling has lost its power.
Caw, caw. After the neighbour reports his copper boiler illumination is dirty again, Rosa and Serena realise they need to do something about the scribblings. Rosa draws loads of radishes since the scribblings don't seem to like them, and the girls visit the neighbourhood to distribute them next to Illuminations on the pretence that they are being tested to keep dirt off the Illuminations, and Payne helps by placing them on rooftops. After an exhausting day, Rosa and Serena are getting ready for bed and talking to Payne, who is enthralled by one of Serena's shiny hair barrettes again. In fact, he's so distracted by it, Payne doesn't realise when he admits Tybalt Mandolini created the Scarling. Rosa is understandably very, very angry. He lied to her and gets up and goes to Uncle Alfonso's room.
Rosa tells Uncle Alfonso everything. Then she tells the rest of her family everything over coffee and hot chocolate. Sergio finds Tybalt's entry in a book of artists and finds out that he died 32 years after Payne was placed on the box, which devastates the Crow, who feels cheated, giving his blind loyalty to a dead guy who forgot about him. As a family, they discuss the Scarling and the Scribblings. They can't wait for the Scribblings to lose power now that they have the Scarling's charcoal. So Nadia points out that if she were the Scarling, she would try to come for the charcoal. If only they had their own scribble army. Just then, Grandmama points to the radish doodle Rosa made on a napkin. It's started wiggling. Then it stands up and chirps at Rosa. Yay!
Payne keeps saying it's impossible, but clearly, as Cousin Sergio points out, it's clearly not. Serena points out the only difference with this radish to the hundreds Rosa has drawn over the years is a halo.
Oh.
Uncle Alfonso asks Rosa to draw another radish without the halo. She does, and absolutely nothing happens. But, as is typical with Rosa's radishes, the family and Payne can feel the potential. At Uncle Alfonso's instruction, Rosa draws a halo, and the radish pulls itself off the napkin and waddles to sit with the other on Rosa's shoulder. See? Not impossible. The next question is how to catch the Scarling. As it's midnight, Grandmama orders everyone to go to bed. It's a problem for the morning. But, in the meantime, the charcoal needs guarding. Payne offers to guard the charcoal in a box, so Uncle Alfonso wraps a metal chain around it. There is no lock, so Rosa asks her two radishes to help Payne. Now it's time for bed.
The studio is woken in the morning from cries coming from the kitchen. The Scarling is making an attempt for the charcoal. There's a scuffle with the Scarling, Aunt Nadia kicking it off the box as it's taking the chain off, while Scribblings swarm Payne and converge on Rosa, jabbing at her arm as she grabs the box. Her radishes try to protect her from the little nasties. Cousin Sergio enters the kitchen and drags Rosa out. The Scarling screeches before running off with its Scribblings following. Aunt Nadia is limping from bright red welts on her ankles. Payne admits the Scarling set a trap, and he fell for it. Everyone looks to see a shiny, perfectly ordinary spoon on the windowsill. Dang it, Payne. You love spoons.
I mean, spoons are brilliant, but, come on, Payne. Come on. The rest of the family comes flooding into the kitchen. Grandmama doctors Rosa's wounds, which look like pencil stabs, and Nadia makes remarks about the lack of coffee to help hers. Serena runs home for special bandages with healing illuminations. Payne feels very guilty, and Grandmama holds him to account, but believes he will do better. They just need to figure out what to do now. After a bit of discussion, Rosa suggests they bury the box in clay. They'll be able to get to it, but the Scarling and the Scribblings would find it very difficult. An excellent idea. Cousin Sergio calls to them then. Painted in the main studio on the ceiling, the scribbling has written, "Will end stupid Mandolinis for always." Serena, who returned with the bandages, points out it has terrible grammar. It is a sentient mandrake root.
While Marco and Sergio are mixing the clay, Rosa keeps looking at the message on the ceiling as she's drawing radishes. It's written in black charcoal. But there can't be another piece, can there? Rosa offers Serena the chance to go home, but she sits up and declares that a Magnifico does not retreat, especially when a friend is in danger. Rosa is starting to get cramps in her hand, and a few hours later, she's very tired with illumination fatigue, so she takes a break, and Marco covers the box in clay. Just then, the Scribblings attack, throwing objects they've scavenged from around the studio from the rafters. An elephant-nosed radish comes to guard Rosa. Looking up, there are more Scribblings than anyone could have guessed. There must be another piece of charcoal. Serena points to the Scarling, who is missing another leg and holding the second charcoal. The Scribblings start cheering, and the Scarling stabs the charcoal in the air before pointing at each of the people below, its clown-like mouth cracking open into a smile before it hisses. The Scribblings dive down.
It sounds hilarious, but if this was actually happening, it would be terrifying.
Yes, but it sounds hilarious.
Oh, yes.
Tiny little carrot-looking mandrake root.
Rosa snatches the box and tears at the clay, going for the charcoal, while her family battles the Scribblings, the radishes forming protective ranks around her. From under the big studio table, Rosa starts drawing a huge radish. Serena joins her and starts helping. She's using her shoe to batter everything off.
Of course, yes.
You know, while the radishes keep the Scribblings off her friend. Once the radish is drawn and the halo added, Rosa wills it to come to life. It does so slowly, but it's magnificent. It's made Rosa so tired though, and her arm hurts a lot, so she hands the charcoal to Aunt Nadia. In rebuttal to the giant radish, the Scarling jumps down from the rafters and starts making more minions on the walls.
Uncle Alfonso drags the table to one of the studio bays, Rosa crawling along with Serena and Aunt Nadia, whose leg is swelling from all the scribbling wounds. As she crawls, Aunt Nadia notices the charcoal line being attacked by the Scribblings and asks Payne if he could be wrong. Maybe more people than Tybalt and Rosa have a gift with the charcoal. Tybalt was her ancestor too, and Rosa is her brother's daughter. Her radishes are terrible, but Nadia's angels are good, so she begins to draw a proof of concept.
Aunt Nadia sketches an angel with powerful wings and pours her will into it. The Scarling screams as the angel comes to life, while Aunt Nadia draws a second. Uncle Alfonso takes the charcoal next and draws a badger, which charges into battle as he slumps drained. Sergio snatches the charcoal next and starts to draw a radish snake. Marco draws a beetle radish. It's difficult to see who's winning, but the Scarling isn't getting tired as he draws his Scribblings. Serena suggests they draw something together.
Uncle Alfonso hands the charcoal to Rosa. She'll start, and the other Mandolinis will add a piece and their power to the creation. The Mandolini's power works together brilliantly, and Rosa asks the radish they've drawn to help them. Meanwhile, the Scarling's mantis-like creature is coming to life, the remains of Scribblings at its feet, their power used to feed the new giant minion. The mantis and radish drawings fight, but the radish is more powerful, and after a short scuffle, the mantis creature breaks and its lines fade. Payne strikes at the Scarling as it screams with rage, but the Scarling fights back. They scuffle, and Payne is able to rip the arm holding the charcoal off the Scarling. Grandmama uses her ladle on the Scarling's head, smacking out her rage. Serena grabs the box and shuts the Scarling inside.
At the opening of the Great Fountain, Rosa and Serena stand together, watching the leader of the city drink water pumped from the canal. Serena's brother saunters over and mentions how they did another set of illuminations for the fountain to keep the pipes in place. Sergio insisted they be particularly potent for some reason, and when the magic took, it was like it was holding something down. Serena's brother doesn't need to know about the scarring buried in the cement foundations, with a warning note in 3 languages attached to a sealed metal tube, and the drawing of a fanged radish with a halo and a crow on it. Nope, it's all good. Rosa and Serena head home, followed by Payne with a shiny piece of ribbon he found in his beak.
Aww. Aww.
Aww. Aww.
Have you ever read a book and thought, wow, I would love to see this on the screen? Well, the Adapt Me podcast is for you. Hi, I'm Emily Malik, host of the Adapt Me podcast, and with a guest every episode, we take a look at books that have never been adapted, why that's so, and how we would go about translating it to a different medium. We talk about any novel from the serious to the downright silly, as long as it hasn't had an adaptation. So come and take a listen to the Adapt Me podcast on wherever you get your podcasts.
It's so cute.
It's adorable. And I
really
fell off my chair.
Really.
There we go.
It was so adorable that you collapsed on the floor.
If I collapse on the floor, there ain't no way I'm getting back up.
You know what? Your mic is probably good enough to pick you up if you want to just tumble off on the floor.
I would just drag it down. Yeah, it'd be fine.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Don't worry. Consummate professional.
Yeah, of course. Definitely. 100%.
I love this book. It was so fun.
Yes. I can't handle all the tiny drawings. Radishes and carrots and weird turtles.
Little spiky things as well.
And things with mustaches. Did I write this book? These are all the things that I draw.
The amount of doodles that I was like, yeah. If you look at... Not that I'm a doodler at work at all, I'm not paying attention at all.
No, definitely not.
You can tell in the recording I fiddle all the time. I cannot sit still. I need to do something with my hands. So it helps me concentrate. Mm-hmm. I doodle, and these are the type of things that I doodle. And I want magic charcoal to bring my doodles to life.
Me too.
Where's the art store that sells?
Yeah. How do we get our hands on this magic charcoal? We need it for real. My go-to mindless doodle, if I'm not thinking about anything, is flowers with little sticks. If I'm just not thinking about anything. But if I actively want to draw something, if someone's like, here, Amanda, draw me a picture, it's a turtle wearing a top hat.
Yeah, my automatic not thinking is flowers as well, with giant leaves.
Oh, nice.
I like the leafy part of a flower rather than the flower of the part of the flower.
Yeah.
It does not make sense, but let's go with it.
I also draw stars. I draw stars a lot.
Tons.
Yeah.
Tons of stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we should ask everyone who's listening to draw us pictures of what they mindlessly doodle and share them on our social media.
Yes, I agree. I don't paint though.
I'm not very good at painting.
I used to do watercolours when I was younger. Like, my mum was really good at Christmases and birthdays, mainly Christmases because it's a Christmas gift, buying like big boxes of pens or like the boxes where you get the different paint supplies and stuff in. So, and she used to have she used to have big massive sheets of paper, and it took me years to get through them. And I used to cut them down into A4 size, or I used to use the even big, and I used to draw lots of faces with giant hair, and the hair was always the swirly kind as well, and I used to decorate the entire thing with them.
That's fun.
Or cut them down to use spirographs. I love a spirograph.
Oh yeah, I want a spirograph.
I was literally talking this week about spirographs and how much I absolutely adored my spirograph.
Yes.
And now I'm like, damn, I want a spirograph again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want one for sure. Yeah.
So much fun.
I have a feeling that we're both going to be buying spirographs when this episode is over.
I'm going to put it on my Christmas list.
Yes.
Oh, how awesome would it be? Fictional Hangover, Secret Santa. What's the one thing you want? I want a spirograph.
Yes. And then everyone just sends each other a spirograph.
Yes.
Yes.
1000% it's happening.
Yeah.
If people want in on this action, join the Patreon.
Join the Patreon, join our Secret Santa, and everyone gets each other a spirograph.
Oh.
I like it. I appreciate it.
Spirograph.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the book, though.
Yeah, should we talk about the book?
It is relevant because we're talking about illustrations and drawings.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I really appreciate that they all came together at the end to work together. And
yes,
I question, because the Magnifico family, they're getting a lot of commissions and things because they all work together. And the Mandolinis, while they're all very good individually, it's kind of dwindling down a little bit. But can you imagine what kind of art they'll create when they all work together and how powerful it will be?
Oh, it'll be absolutely brilliant. It'll be, I want to say magnificent, but that's Magnifico.
Yeah.
It would be amazing. Wonderful.
Yes. Mandolini. Neat was the end of that.
We'll go with neat.
Mandolini.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everyone shall have a radish with fangs.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. For sure.
I think I'm hoping going forward the Studio Mandolini picks up business and creates magnificent art.
Yeah.
And magnificent illuminations. I really like the fact that the family, they were a good family. So Rose's parents aren't in, and it's not covered in the summary because it's like a minor storyline.
It's like a throwaway line, really.
It is, but her parents died in a fire.
Yes.
At the studio. And so a lot of the time when it talks about the illuminations and how important they are, one of the particular illuminations she always thinks about are ones that prevent fire. Mm-hmm. So you've got your ones that keep the rats at bay, keep the moths out of the flour, and keep the mice out of the cheese and that kind of thing. You've got the illumination of the bandages and all the one that's been mentioned. But the big one that all of the houses have to have now is a fire preventative one. Mm-hmm. And the neighbour's house was run down. That illumination got scratched, dirtied, or otherwise stopped working. A fire broke out, and unfortunately our parents perished in it.
Yes.
So we don't have, that's not a villain origin story at all either. It's just a story that has happened to Rosa. She barely remembers them.
Right.
But you've still got a really loving family surrounding her. Mm-hmm. And though they don't believe her at first about the scribbles, because who else is going to scribble on the walls? Is it going to be an adult, or is it going to be the kid that's there?
Yeah. You're
going to blame the kid, unfortunately. They are prime suspect number one.
Yes.
But Uncle Alfonso never believes that's her.
No.
But also doesn't really speak up about it and doesn't say, well, who could it be?
Yeah.
But as soon as they prove that it can't be her through simply getting her to stand on that chair, they're all like, right, it's not you. We're very sorry.
Mm-hmm.
They apologise. Mm-hmm. They believe her outright.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, well, who is doing this?
What's going on?
Yeah. I would love to know what they were thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. And like,
and obviously,
really,
from Rosa's point of view, we're not going to find out, but yeah.
Right. I feel like 11 is way too old to be drawing on the walls. So they should have known, really. I feel like maybe they did know on the inside, but like you said, I mean, who else is going to do it? It's going to be the kid in the house. But
the fact that there weren't radishes as well. The one thing that she draws all the freaking time.
Yeah. Oh, I just remembered. Ooh, childhood memory unlocked. I used to draw on the inside of the closet doors in our hallway with chalk because you could just wash it off with water. And our doors were like this wood and they didn't have like the panels cut in, so it was just a big flat piece. And I used to draw all over those walls all the time in chalk, and it just washed right off.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of chalk on the ground.
Oh, I drew sidewalk chalk all the time, and in our garage, whenever the cars were out, always drawing in the garage.
I've got loads. I've still got some up now. Really big chunky chalk as well. Mm-hmm. It's great.
Yeah.
Because it wears down so quickly.
Yeah, it really does.
I used to have an art easel as well, and one side was a chalkboard and the other side was like a whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have whiteboard pens, so we used to stick the paper to it.
Yeah.
Memories.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to draw now and doodle.
I know, me too. Yeah, me too.
Amazing.
You know what we need to do? Wait, you know what we need to do to celebrate this weekend, our drawing, or, sometime eventually when we can get lots of our Patreon family to join us, is play TKO again.
Yes! Yes! I've still got the t-shirt.
I mean, you're wearing a TKO t-shirt one, right now.
But this isn't a Fictional Hangover one. It's just thematically appropriate.
Yes. Yeah. It's perfect. It
is one of the greatest t-shirts ever. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
But I would love to. Let's do that for our 350th.
Yeah. Let's play TKO
Let's
again.
recruit, and then we'll, our favourite t-shirt that's created can be our celebration t-shirt.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do it.
Anybody wants to join, let us know.
Yes, please. And everyone can join, even if you're listening in, another country.
Just get in touch with us on our social medias, Fictional Hangover, on all social media platforms.
And you've got plenty of time, because 300 isn't coming until the end of June.
Yes.
So you've got plenty of time to join us.
fictionalhangover@gmail.com.
Yes.
Fictional Hangover on Instagram.
Yes.
Threads.
Yep. We'll do it. We'll
Facebook.
play. We'll play together. It'll be really, really fun.
It's good. It's really good.
Okay.
It's just a daft laugh.
Let's go back
Let's
and
have a conversation about Illuminations
again.
Yes. So, pain. Let's talk about pain.
Let's talk about pain.
I like pain. I love the concept of pain.
Yes, me too.
That sounds double entendre.
It really does.
But I'm a little sad about pain.
Yeah, same. But, I mean, you can't fault a crow for loving shinies.
No,
he can't help it.
A drawing of a crow as well. He's not even a biologically real hatched crow. He has crow feathers mixed into the paint.
Yeah.
But he is an illumination brought to life by Tybalt.
Yeah.
I don't fault him for his love of shinies.
Yeah.
What I can look at him and kind of give him a grandmama look. Is the fact that he kept telling Rosa not to tell anybody.
That did bother me a little bit. Why?
Yeah.
There's no real reason why.
No.
Unless he was afraid that they were going to do something to him and put him back on the box or something. But even then.
But then that you can't, because he kept saying that it's impossible. Tybalt was the only one who could wield that power.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just, obviously it's a device to write the book. I get that.
Yes.
But I also, Shiny's fine, but I'm disappointed in the fact that Pain kept guilted Rosa. She's only 11.
Yeah.
So she's an impressionable youth.
Yeah.
I hate that phrase. She's an impressionable young person.
Yes.
Who will look to Pain, who is an authority as she sees it on the matter.
Yeah.
And believe him.
Yeah.
But then a lot of respect to Rosa for trying to deal with the situation very maturely.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she realises how much she's been lied to and deceived by Pain, because lies of omission is still a lie.
Yeah.
She just gets up and goes straight to Uncle Alfonso.
Yep.
And I was like, yes, thank you for that. That was great.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah. So, and I do like the fact that he's still around at the end and he gets a shiny ribbon.
Me too, because he deserves all the shiny ribbons.
Do you think they have to get like matte metal spoons going forward? So
probably. Yeah, wooden spoons.
Oh, imagine what pain would be like with glitter.
He would love glitter so much. Yeah.
Did you kind of like really feel like you understood Rosa when she was talking about Serena and how she's like, well, she's my friend, but she's my friend because of circumstances, because we're thrown together because of the two studios.
Yeah.
And I like her sometimes, but I don't like her sometimes. And I'm kind of like, ugh, at the moment about her.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, yeah, that kind of even continues by being into adulthood. Like,
yeah. You're like, man, I really, really love you, but I'm just tired. I'm tired right now. I don't want to put up with you right now. But I love you, but leave me alone.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And it's not, as you get older, it's because you become friends with people you work with. Mm-hmm. And it's just, or your neighbours, or, you know, the people in the community who you see so often, you're just like, I love you, but I need 5 minutes.
Yeah, just give me a
second. I'm happy for you, but I'm jealous. I'll celebrate when I can deal with my emotions right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, for all the fact it's written in such a good style. It's A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. I was reading the back and the acknowledgements, like the author note. And T. Kingfisher said that this book was written because she couldn't get a defensive guide to baking published.
It's crazy. Which
is crazy. And they're both written from the perspective of like an 11, 12-year-old young person. But the voices are so very different. And you can almost hear that, like, at those age, as a child goes from 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, the difference in the maturity levels just leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
So you can hear, the voices are so very subtly different. And I really appreciate that, because I was like, yeah, I'm getting the impression very much that you're an 11-year-old who's in a situation that you don't want to deal with, you're over your head, but you want help. Whereas, like, with wizards, you can feel that there are a 12-year-old who has a bit more worldly experience, and now they're in a life and death situation, and they have got to grow up ASAP.
Yeah.
But the voice is still young, and there's still, why am I dealing with it? This should be an adult's problem.
Right. Yes. Where are the grown-ups right now? Come on.
Where are the grown-ups right now? And T. Kingfisher does an absolutely stellar job of really getting the voice right. I've read a few books now, and each one perfect.
Yes.
Maturity level. Yeah. If it's a YA or younger reader book, or if it's an adult book, it's just totally right. It's just very immersive.
So yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, love it. Love it.
Who's your favourite character?
I honestly can't say.
Yeah, they're all. I like all of them. They're all good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even pain and questionable decision making.
Yes.
Even, you know, Rosa and Serena being 11, 12-year-old kids. You know, all of the grandma, Aunt Nadia, Cousin Sergio, Uncle Marco, Uncle Alfonso, they're all such different characters. So very different. That, I don't know, you just can't help but like them. I mean, even Serena's brother, who goes unnamed and isn't twice, I kind of get this kind of like cocky feel from him. Like he swaggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, he thinks he's a ladies' man.
I'm sure he does.
He probably has like
a teenage mustache.
He has the teenage mustache.
Yeah, he probably does.
Which I'm sure we've already declared is verboten.
Yeah.
So I can't decide. So I'm going to turn the table and actually say a little bit. A character I relate most to.
Okay.
It's probably Aunt Nadia because of her caffeine addiction.
Yes. Which is not really mentioned in the summary very much, but it was hilarious because she's always drinking coffee. I think she's drinking coffee to go to bed, and she's drinking coffee to wake up, and she's drinking coffee to heal her pencil stabs, and she's just always drinking coffee.
She refuses to enter discussions until the coffee's made, cousin Sergio. Well, it wouldn't be nephew Sergio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really... And this sounds ridiculous, but at one point it specifically mentions Nadia's boots. I freaking love boots.
Uh-huh.
I love a boot.
Yes.
I can't wear them at the moment because of other problems. For reasons.
Uh-huh.
But I freaking love boots. If I see a nice pair of boots, I'm literally salivating. I saw a pair of boots the other day on the wrestling. She had the soles. They were flat, I know, whatever. The soles were like 2 to 3 inches thick. And they just looked bouncy and soft. But then it was like almost Doc Marten at the top, but it was more the one, you know, the kind that you just pull on.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh my God, I would be buying those right now if I could get them on my feet, but I can't right now.
Yeah.
So I was just salivating over these pair of boots. So the fact that Nadia is specifically mentioned as being a coffee lover with some magnificent boots that she's stomping on the scribblings, I'm like, oh,
it's you.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah.
The only thing that she's missing, Claire? Cheese.
She mentions the cheese in the cupboard and the mice. It's mentioned at least once. There's the cheese in the pantry is mentioned a few times. So yeah, I feel like I relate to Aunt Nadia.
Yes. Yeah. That's fine. I don't really feel like I relate to any of the characters, but I do love them all. I feel like I probably love Uncle Alfonso the best.
He's so chill.
Yeah.
I bet he's grooves good hugs.
Probably. He probably does. Yeah. Were you surprised by anything? I wasn't really.
Not overly. If I had to pick something, was like there was one scene when Payne squawks and then goes bad and then squawks again.
Yes.
But he quite clearly speaks.
Uh-huh.
And all the adults are like, oh!
There's a bird
crow
inside. Yes.
Inside.
Yes.
Not that it's talking. The way that the studio is described is fairly open plan. There's a main studio. The kitchen and the bathrooms are separate rooms. But everybody's studios are bays, and even Rose's bedroom is a bay, and when she wants privacy, she has a privacy screen to pull over the bay. So they're all open plan by the sound of it.
Yeah, open ceiling.
Yeah,
in between
high
them.
ceilings,
Yeah.
rafters, and it's like, so this crow is flying around, which you're fine with, and is talking to Rosa, and probably muttering to himself about shiny things and spoons.
Probably, yes.
And nobody's saying anything.
No. It's even later when he's not flapping and squawking around real loud and they're just having a conversation, you can hear her speaking to someone.
Yeah.
Who is she talking to?
I mean, the grandmama specifically says to Rosa and Serena, I can hear you talking in there. Go to sleep on the 2 nights that Serena sleeps
stop
over.
talking about boys and go to sleep. So
okay, she obviously doesn't. She can hear them. Obviously not detailed conversation.
Right.
But she can hear them. So when Serena's not there and Rosa's busy yapping away and there's a second voice talking back, who's the second voice? That's my surprise. Or maybe shock.
I can support that. Concern. It's concern.
I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, I can support that.
Thank you.
Of course. Shall we move on to favorite final thought quote?
Yes. Okay. So many.
Yes.
If it were interesting, I wouldn't be bored. Being bored is the opposite of interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
I hate it when people say that, like, only boring people get bored or something like that.
Stupid, no.
Yeah. Love, fame, glory, stuffed armadillos. It is the human condition. Is it, Uncle Alphonse?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do not be reasonable at me, said Grandmama. I am not in the mood to be reasoned at. I feel that line so hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes just I need to be in a mood.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Just let me fuss if I want to fuss.
Let me be in the mood. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ugh. I feel terribly weak, murmured Aunt Nadia, as if the life was draining away from me. Oh, wait, it's just that there's no coffee.
Yep. Yes.
Give me yours. Otherwise, I'm just going to stop plagiarising.
Okay. It's an evil mandrake root with a painted clown face that's sworn to kill us all, said Aunt Nadia. And the arm's the bit that's bothering you? That's one of the hardest parts of being an artist, you know. Learning to be patient with yourself when you're not as good as you want to be. Ooh, I feel that.
Yes.
Feel that.
Yes.
And finally, Rosa thought she might be getting a headache. Maybe it was because she was rolling her eyes so hard. I feel that one too. Oh. That one's me. That one is me.
100% relatable. Oh my God, yes. It's like, oh, I think I've just pulled an eye muscle. This is why people have me on Zoom calls at work, because my face is subtitles and I roll my eyes and I like do the...
Yes. Oh, that happened to me just the other day. We have bi-weekly managers meetings, and the other manager she is also always on Teams and not in person. She's at another library location. Yeah. She just constantly messages me, like, on the side, like, I love your face right now. I love your face right now. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I can't keep it quiet. I can't.
I've started to having to sit forward with, like, resting my face on my hands, and then I can move my hands over my face and just kind of, like, disguise in some way, shape or form.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't see when I'm actually talking and going, what
the fuck is going on?
Huh? Eh?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Ugh.
Please don't make this video clip the headliner, because I don't want my secrets to be revealed.
Damn it, I was gonna. I'm sure we can find something else. It's fine. Eye rolling, maybe.
Everybody does it. Guarantee you, everybody. I just can't. I don't understand people who can sit on those things and just not move. And they're like, yeah, fine, it's fine. I'm not moving.
Yeah.
Don't even. Surely they've got to be fake photographs.
Yes, it's just like a green screen. It's just a photograph. You're like,
yeah, it's got to be.
I had to blink. Couldn't sit still any longer.
Sometimes I want to do that just to test to see if people think my camera's broken, my internet's
like,
lost.
Oh, are you frozen? And you're like, no, I'm just sitting like this. Why did you ask? This is just what I look like all the time.
I always in this greeting. It should have been an email.
It's really great. The ventriloquist part is what we have as our clip.
Are you a ventriloquist? It's not easy.
It's not. But I like it. Let's play Would You Rather.
Spirographs again.
Yes.
Anywho.
Let's play Would You Rather.
We asked... Oh, sorry. We asked on social media, would you rather paint something specific, say a blue-eyed cat, and its job to keep mice away? And does it really, really well, or paint something unique that comes to life, but, you can't always control it? On Facebook, 70% said specific. On an Instagram, which I think tells you a lot about Instagram, 100% said unique. Coral on Facebook said, I would love to be able to paint, but no talent here. But if I could, I would have to go with unique and watch chaos descend, long as it's colourful.
Colourful chaos.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
Katrina on Facebook says, I'm type A. I can't have something random getting out of control. I'd like a cat with a specific job. Not very exciting, I know.
Claire on Facebook said, I'm really bad at drawing / painting. At least if we know what it is beforehand, it reduces the potential for mayhem.
Emily on Facebook says, I'm not a painter, so I would go with painting something specific.
Colin on Facebook said, I'm unique, I'm alive, and I'm not always controllable, so I think I'll have to go with option B, just so I've got some company. Not sure what I would paint though. I'd make sure it's got at least 2 eyes. I feel a bit sorry for things with only 1 eye. Binocular vision is an underrated thing, I think. Probably go pretty low-key on the claws side of things as well. Last thing we want is a horror show monster coming alive with its binocular vision, rows of sharp pointed teeth, meaty legs and claws. That would be worrisome. That being said, it doesn't have to be a horror show monster. It could be a friendly animal that's been drawn by me and all my lack of talent, which leaves it praying for the sweet release of death. Just, I could do either. I contain multitudes.
You can do either one. Candace on Facebook says, paint something unique, only because I can't draw anything specific.
Annie on Facebook says, I've always wanted to be able to paint anything I see, so in my dreams I'm painting something unique.
Cindy on Facebook says, something specific.
And Brie Tart on Instagram said, I'd rather paint something specific really well and have it do its job reliably. My artistic joy comes from making the thing best, then moving on to the next thing and progressively getting better from there. If my art came alive, I'd have to keep revisiting and taking care of it long after I'd moved on. Very well thought out answer there.
Finally, Joe Roland Author on Instagram says, unique. What's life without some adventure?
True. I'm going unique.
I want an army of radishes.
Hells yeah. It's my life goal now to have an army of radishes.
Yeah.
One with an elephant nose. Oh, the elephant nose one survives to the end and he looks after Walter the Beetle and he becomes best friends with Walter the Beetle. And you can imagine there's buddy adventures.
Yes. I would really, really enjoy to read those.
I'm going to go for something unique. Because why the heck not?
Yeah.
I want to have, gentleman radishes with fangs and a monocle.
Yeah.
Or little spiky dudes with top hats.
Yes. I do, however, appreciate making something specific if it does something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I might be more inclined to do that. Like, if you tell me to draw something, I can draw it. It might not be good, but I can draw it.
Yeah.
So maybe I should do that. Maybe I'll do that.
But what we also need to remember as well, which I noticed got lost in the responses on the would you rather answers.
Mm.
You are the lord and master of all you survey when it comes to would you rather.
It's true.
So a lot of people are saying that they cannot paint, they cannot draw, they have no artistic ability.
But they can.
In this question, you have that ability.
You're right.
It's in your answer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to draw something unique,
mm-hmm.
but I'm going to know what it does. Or I'll be able to will it to doing what I would like it to do.
Yeah, that's also a good thing.
And if there's a little bit of chaos, there's a little bit of chaos.
That's fine, yeah.
Free will. What's a world without free will?
Yeah, of course. Okay. This is a little bit of everything from the book. Would you rather fight a horde of scribblings with a half-full bag of clay, or big palette knives, or heavy boots, or a rolling stool, or a ladle and a pronged fork?
Well, I think we've already established my love for boots.
Boots
so
is the answer.
The heavy boots.
Boots is the answer.
Yeah. I'm going to go for goth boots as well.
Yeah,
specifically,
of course.
so they go up to my knee.
Yeah.
To protect me from those nasty little scribblings.
Yes. Yeah. And they're platforms also.
Yes. Nice thick sole. What's the point? Oh, God, I used to have some amazing ones. They were amazing. Like heavy metal goth boots.
Uh-huh.
They were so freaking comfortable. Like, you could wear... They looked heavy. Like, really heavy. But they weren't. They were a comfortable weight. And they had such good grip. And then one year we had the worst snowstorm, and the only shoes I had that were stable enough to withstand the depth of the snow and the iciness were my metal goth boots, and they got absolutely ruined.
Oh no!
I still mourn them to this day. Freaking love those boots.
I have a really nice pair that I wear when I'm wearing my Darth Vader costume.
Oh, yes, I love those boots.
Yeah, because Darth Vader, I gotta be bigger than I actually am, and then I wear the big like muscle suit too, so I look like a completely different person, and it's really, really fun. But I gotta be taller, and then I put lifts inside them, so instead of being 4 inches taller, I'm 6 inches taller, and it's amazing.
The air is thin.
It is.
You can look down at people.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
I love them. I love them so much. I cannot wait for the day when things are better. I am going to buy so many boots.
Yeah.
Oh, I love boots.
Mm-hmm. What's our next question? Stop dreaming about boots.
No.
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 Would you rather fight a magical mandrake root or a magical radish?
I want the radish to be my friend, so I'm fighting the mandrake root.
Same. I kind of want the elephant-nosed one to be my friend.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Now I've just decided, I can't easily get to it. I just remembered that I have an oddish Steffi, and I meant to have it out with me, but I can't get to it. I also have a carrot Steffi. I have 1,000 carrot Steffies. Everyone should know that, but I can't get to my oddish right now. But it's fine.
Stuff is dead.
Would you rather paint to life a giant radish with fangs? Yes. Or a mantis monster? Or a crow?
Oh, well, I don't want the mantis monster.
Mm-mm. I still want the giant radish. I want to be friends with a real-life crow.
Yeah. Payne needs therapy. He's gone through some trauma.
He has. He's been on a box for 200 years.
He has. Yeah, I want the giant radish.
Yeah.
It's just that's the answer, common theme.
Yeah, radish. Always radish. Always radish, always boots.
Always radish. A radish wearing really nice boots.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to end on a probably easy question. That's got nothing to do with radishes or boots.
Would you rather... point?
Well, because I think we're going to get distracted. Would you rather drink the canal water after the tiles have been put into place, or gorge yourself on Grandma's anxiety treacle tarts?
My diabetes tells me that I'm drinking the canal water. I'm trying to make good life choices here. And I know
that is a very good life choice.
Lord and master of my own universe. However, it's just ingrained. It's ingrained in me. So I'm drinking canal water. I bet it tastes
canal
magical.
Water because I like water. Mm. I actively drink water. I will choose water.
Mm. I don't want my water to be super ice cold though. I weirdly prefer room temperature water.
I just like water. I had an ice cold drink yesterday while I was having my dinner, and it was properly freezing cold. And then I put my hot pasta, like a bite of my hot pasta, into my mouth, and I thought I'd burnt my mouth because it went from such extreme cold to the hot. I was like, oh, I haven't, thankfully.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes though, I like really, really ice cold water because it just instantly quenches the thirst, or at least, tells my body the thirst is gone.
Yeah.
But it's easier just to drink room temperature.
Yeah.
I really like water. I'm not adverse to it at all. People who say, I can't drink water, it's boring. No, you're boring.
Yeah. Ugh. So
I've got a really, really fancy treacle tart. They're not my favourite.
Mm.
I'm more savoury these days.
Yeah. I mean, give me a potato.
Freaking, oh my god, I saw a recipe for a sweet potato thing that looks absolutely magnificent with like onions and peppers and black-eyed beans and cheese all melted together and all mashed. Oh, it looked amazing. And a bit of sour cream on. It looked amazing.
I'll skip the sour cream, but the rest of it sounds amazing.
Oh, I do like a bit of sour cream.
No.
Anywho.
Okay. If you like to just try this, what can you suggest?
I'm going to suggest a novella by T. Kingfisher called Minor Mage. And it is not even a hashtag tenuous link. It is a full-on link because it is within the Illuminations universe. Summary. Oliver is a very minor mage. His family reminded him of this several times a day. He only knew 3 spells, and one of them was to control his allergy to armadillo dander.
Great.
His attempts to summon elements resulted in nosebleeds, and there is nothing more embarrassing than having your element leave the circle to get you a tissue, pat you comfortingly, and then disappear in a puff of magic. The armadillo had about wet himself laughing. He was a very minor mage. Unfortunately, he was all they had.
Now, can you answer this question for me? Is Minor Mage and Illuminations and The Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, are these all in the same universe? Because they seem like they would be. I
don't know, but I think they are.
I feel like they would be.
Minor Mage and Illuminations has the same artwork cover.
Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking looks very similar as well.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's just because it's the age range, but then it's like, well, it's the magic.
And it's like all minor weird magic. It's not like super powerful crazy things. It's
quite non-specific. It's hyper-specific.
Yes. Like I can draw a radish to life. I can control my allergies. I can bake a cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
very
like they are.
hyper-specific.
Yeah.
But then we've said that about other T. Kingfisher books, and some of them are in the same universe.
Yeah.
But I feel like I need a graph.
Yes. Yeah.
Anywho, what have you got?
I am going to suggest a very old book, but it's Diana Wynne Jones. And I mean, you Can't go wrong. This one is called Earwig and the Witch.
Ah, I think I've seen this one.
You probably have. Not every orphan would love living at St. Morwald's home for children, but Earwig does. She gets whatever she wants, whenever she wants it, and it's been that way since she was dropped on the orphanage doorstep as a baby. But all that changes the day Bella Yaga and the Mandrake come to St. Morwald's, disguised as foster parents. Earwig is whisked off to their mysterious house full of invisible rooms, potions, and spellbooks, with magic around every corner. Most children would run in terror from a house like that. But not Earwig. Using her own cleverness, with a lot of help from a talking cat, she decides to show the witch who's boss.
Nice.
Super cute.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Do we have a new and indie spotlight that is a hashtag tenuous link at all?
We do. Kind of.
Oh.
Kind of. So what I'm going to suggest is a book called Bygones, and it's by Will Kleeman. It was released in March, but we just got the email about it last week. So unfortunately, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for us to have an indie spotlight about it, but we're mentioning it now. So everyone go and check this one out because it sounds very interesting. One part of it in particular sounds very interesting indeed. In the land of Krybella, where ancient laws bind its clans to their regions and sacred bygones, two brothers are about to embark on journeys they did not see coming, even with their special Deja ability to view glimpses of the past and future. Ash and Hale Hillstone are as different as night and day on the surface, but unforeseen circumstances force both boys to test themselves and question the rules enforced by the governing body of the Synod. Can they follow their separate calls of adventure, or will they be content with the way things have always been? Now, I know you're thinking, Amanda, that doesn't sound like, why is this a hashtag tenuous link? The reason I picked this one is throughout the book, there are QR codes that take you to music composed by the author to enhance the section that you're reading. So it's like the book is coming to life. I don't know. It sounds really fun.
Oh, no, that sounds really cool. Because, the amount of authors that'll publish a playlist or link to a Spotify list of music that inspired or kept them going while they're writing. But that's really cool.
Yeah. So you're just flipping along through the pages and you spot a QR code. So you scan that. And while you're reading that section, it's got this score that goes along with it. Sounds like a really cool idea.
It's a hashtag tenuous link, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's music painting 1,000 words.
Yeah. Oh. So everyone go and check that one out. I'm not going to
put it down as a theme simply because I think that's very difficult to
that
fulfill,
would
unless
be
we cover this very specific book.
Yeah, that would be very, very tough.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the end of this episode of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we continue our theme and discuss Empire of the Damned by J. Kristoff. Look out for our Would You Rather polls and monthly challenges on social media. Don't forget about our book club on Discord. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover themed merchandise, and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com and follow us on all social media at Fictional Hangover. If you like this episode, check out our others and be sure to rate, review and subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for listening.